again from the University of Maryland Extension, and today I am so lucky to be introducing some of the foods that are in your bag for your Super Chef contest. We're going to take a look at what the foods are, how they grow, why they're so good for us, and different ways that we can use them. Maybe sweet or savory, maybe we mash them or boil them or bake them. Let's go check it out.
Let's start by taking a look at the ingredients in your bag. Yours may look a little different from the ones I show here. First on the list is flour. Then we've got some sugar, some oats or oatmeal, a sweet potato, eggs, and an apple. The most important step before we start any cooking is to ensure that our work area is clean and that we wash our hands for at least 20 seconds. Now let's take a closer look at our ingredients, starting with our flour. Most flour that we use comes from wheat, a grain that has lots of fiber that's great for our bellies. When wheat is ready to harvest, we eat the seeds of the plant. We take these seeds and grind them up to make flour. We can then turn that into things like bread, pancakes, or pasta. Now onto one that we all probably love, sugar. Sugar comes from sugarcane, which kind of looks like bamboo. The canes are harvested by being cut down and then squeezed to get out all of that yummy, sugary goodness inside. We can of course find sugar in things like cakes and cookies, but we can also find it in things like tomato sauce. Now on to our oats or oatmeal. Our oats come from a plant that looks very much like wheat, and it's also the seed of the plant. When we harvest oats, they're large and covered with a seed coat. We then take off the seed coat, and through some cooking and smashing, they turn into the oatmeal that we know. Just like wheat, we can also turn our oats into flour by putting them into a blender or a food processor. Now let's take a look at sweet potatoes. The sweet potato is just that, a little sweet. This root vegetable is high in vitamin C, which helps our immune system, and fiber, which helps our bellies. Because we harvest our sweet potatoes from the ground, they're usually covered in soil, so we need to make sure that we wash them well before we cook with them. Our potatoes can stay whole, or you can peel off the skin before using them to cook. They can also be cut in a variety of ways. Just be sure to ask an adult for help if your knife is very sharp. Try out different fun shapes, maybe circles, squares, or planks for fries. Once our sweet potatoes are cut, we can cook them in a lot of different ways. We can boil them to be mashed, or we can roast them in the oven to give them a crunchy texture on the outside. Next, let's check out our eggs. Not quite. That looks more like it. Our eggs come from chickens and have protein to help us build muscle. Eggs also help our ingredients stick together so they don't fall apart, and it makes things fluffy. We can crack our eggs right into the dough, or we can boil them to make them hard-boiled and firm. Next up, our apples. Our apples grow on trees at orchards. These apples provide us with lots of water and fiber for our bellies. Just like our sweet potatoes, we should always make sure that we wash our apples before eating or cooking with them. Our apples can be used with the skin on, or you can peel it off. We can also use these raw or cook them in our dish. We can slice them into thin pieces to cook quickly, or into wedges or chunks. We can put those chunks into our dish, or we can cook the apples with some water to make a sauce like applesauce. So now that you know about all of the ingredients, What can you make with it? It's a great time to be creative. You can go sweet, savory, or somewhere in between. Let's check out a few ideas. You can mix your sweet potatoes, apples, and flour to make a delicious breakfast bar or cookie. Why not top it with some oats? You can also keep your sweet potatoes and apples a bit more whole with this sweet potato and apple bake. Roast them in the oven and top them with your oats, flour, and sugar for a sweet snack. You can also go a bit more savory, as sweet potatoes and apples make a great base for a soup. Why not try your hand at making some pasta using your flour or maybe some oat flour? If you mix in your sweet potatoes or apples into your pasta, you get something that's like gnocchi. Good luck and have fun!